Welcome back to the official review. We're past day one of NBA free agency, and we're going to talk about some underrated deals. My first underrated deal of free agency is Jordan Clarkson to the New York Knicks. I think he gives the Knicks exactly what they need. I think their biggest weakness in the playoffs last year was when Jalen Brunson came out of the game. They were relying on Deuce McBride and Cameron Payne, two of the worst players who actually played for the Knicks. I'm telling you guys right now, just because Jordan Clarkson was lost in Utah and no one really watches him on TV, that guy can ball. He's a guy who coming off the bench could run the offense for quite a little bit. He can score. He can do things in bunches. I think it was a good deal for the Knicks.
Yeah, I think they desperately were looking for creation and scoring off of the bench. He's definitely an upgrade over McBride and Cam Payne, like you said, and gives the Knicks some really much needed guard depth behind Brunson because they're so overly reliant on Brunson these days.
I really am picking up what the Hawks are doing, and I really like their signings of both Nickeil Alexander-Walker to a 4-year, $64 million deal and the Luke Kennard deal, a 1-year deal. We saw how important wings are this playoffs, how much depth in that position is really important. And I think guys like that, I mean, Alexander-Walker fits really well with what the Hawks needed. And Kennard just gets scoring off the bench. I really like what the Hawks are building in Atlanta. I think they can be a sneaky team next year, like the Pacers-like team. You know, they have the star talent in Trae Young. They got Porzingis, who's won a championship before. If he can stay healthy, who knows what he'll be like. I really like what they're doing in Atlanta.
Yeah, I love adding more shooting around Trae Young. The way they're going to be able to space the floor, especially if Porzingis is healthy, it's going to be unreal. And also, the last time the Hawks were in the Eastern Conference Finals, they had Kevin Huerter next to Trae Young. Luke Kennard's kind of like him. I would argue that Luke Kennard is actually a little bit better.
Yeah, I think this gives the Hawks some much needed ball handling depth outside of Dyson Daniels. They really didn't have someone who could handle the ball and kind of relieve that off of Trae. They also don't have to rely as much on Resache, who did have a good year, but after Resache, it was like Vit Krejci very fast, you know? And it gives them another look if they don't want to play Dyson Daniels, who can't really shoot threes as well as Nickeil and Kennard.
They're a really well-rounded team. They've really good defending wings in Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. And then you bring in Kennard and Nickeil Alexander. They're like a great balance between those two. It's, they've got good defenders. They got good shooters. They got height. Trae Young's not too tall, but Hawks have a lot going for them this year.
Nickeil was closing games for the Timberwolves at times last year. He's a reliable player that has done it in the playoffs, and just a great get for the Hawks, and I will be missing him in Minnesota. My underrated signing is Clint Capela signing to the Rockets. I think this gives the Rockets a lot of optionality between Steven Adams and Sengun. Capela is a legit lob threat and gives them some rim protection back there as well. I think the Rockets saw a market inefficiency with offensive rebounding where a lot of teams didn't have guys that can really crash the boards like they could, and they've tripled down on it with Capela.
I also love a reunion. I feel like, let's say the Rockets somehow pull off an NBA Finals win. I think it would be kind of nice to have a member of one of their past really good teams that was contender. Capela's a friendly face in Houston. I love the deal as well.
Yeah, I think he can also play with Sengun in that way that they're playing Sengun and Adams together last year, but Adams is less of a lob threat than Capela is, less of a shot blocker than Capela is. So, it just gives Ime Udoka a lot of options to throw out there for various lineups.
You think there'll be a lot of Sengun to Capela alley-oops? I could totally see that. Sengun is a nasty-ass passer. I like him. They're going to be good.